Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. You know how much we love to take a specific topic and just really dig in. And today's deep dive is all about leveling up your life.
Ooh, I like that.
Using insights from a book called Level Up Your Life by Sazid Arman.
Okay.
Now, think of this as a personal upgrade, fueled by real stories and some really actionable strategies.
I love that.
We're going to unpack concepts like decoding those emotional triggers and then mastering your inner world.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see how these ideas kind of resonate with you as we go through this.
Well, and what I find so fascinating about this book is how it really weaves together personal stories with practical advice.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just these abstract theories, it's about real people who have actually applied these strategies and have transformed their lives.
And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting.
Absolutely.
Because we're not just going to summarize the book,
Right.
We're going to extract those golden nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah. And really explore how can you apply them to your own life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in and start with this whole idea of understanding our emotional triggers.
Okay.
The book shares a story of Nina, who is a high achiever. She's always prided herself on being calm and collected.
Right.
But she started noticing she was overreacting to everyday situations, like snapping at coworkers or getting frustrated over these minor inconveniences.
Yeah.
And it really threw her off because it just felt so out of character for her.
It's like that feeling when you realize you're not reacting in a way that feels authentic to you.
Yes, exactly.
It's a real wake-up call.
It is, and that's exactly what it was for Nina.
Yeah.
It was like a wake-up call that sparked this whole journey of self-discovery for her.
Wow.
And so she started journaling,
Okay.
trying to pinpoint what was happening, and she realized that there was this common thread in all of her triggers.
Okay.
This sense of losing control.
Whether it was a colleague, questioning her work, or a technology glitch, or even just a simple misunderstanding with a friend.
Okay, so she's identifying these external situations.
Yes.
But is that really the root of the problem?
That's a great question.
I mean, we all experience these things,
Yeah.
but not everyone reacts the same way.
Right. And that's the key question. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Through journaling, Nina had this pivotal aha moment.
Okay.
Her reactions were more about her internal struggles than the external events themselves.
Oh.
So it wasn't just about a miss Uber,
Well.
It was her fear of the consequences of being late.
Okay.
It wasn't just a colleague's comments,
Yeah.
It was her feeling that her worth was being challenged.
So it's like those external triggers are just hitting a deeper nerve.
Exactly.
Something already sensitive within her.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how much of our reactions are really about the situation at hand versus our own internal baggage.
Right. It's a powerful insight, and it completely shifts the focus from blaming those external circumstances to taking ownership of our own emotional responses.
I like that.
So instead of asking, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Nina started asking, what is this reaction telling me about myself?
That's such a powerful reframing.
It is.
But knowing is only half the battle, right?
Yeah.
What did Nina actually do to manage these triggers in the moment?
Yeah.
Did she become a hermit and avoid all stressful situations?
Not quite. She started incorporating mindfulness into her daily life.
Okay.
So whenever she felt herself getting worked up,
Yeah.
she'd pause, take a deep breath, give herself a moment to choose a response rather than just react impulsively.
I've heard about the power of the pause, but I'm curious, does it really work?
It does.
Does simply breathing really change the game that much?
Well, think of it like this. The pause creates space between the stimulus and your reaction. And in that space, you have the opportunity to ask yourself, what's really going on here? What am I feeling? And why am I feeling this way?
It's like hitting the pause button on autopilot
Exactly.
and actually taking control of the situation
Yes.
instead of letting your emotions run the show.
Precisely. And that's what allows you to respond with intention rather than just react out of habit.
Okay.
Now, Nina didn't just stop at these mindfulness exercises, though.
Okay.
She continued journaling to explore those underlying emotions,
Okay.
particularly her perfectionist tendencies and fear of failure.
So it's about getting to the root of the problem, not just treating the symptom.
Exactly.
So Nina's story is all about self-awareness and uncovering those internal triggers. But the book also talks about another key skill,
Yes.
emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Is that just another term for self-awareness, or is there more to it?
While self-awareness is definitely a component, emotional intelligence goes a step further.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Self-awareness is like knowing your emotional landscape.
Mm-hmm.
While emotional intelligence is about skillfully navigating that landscape,
Okay.
the book introduces Olivia, who was incredibly empathetic towards others,
Okay.
but struggled to manage her own emotions.
It's almost like she was giving great advice but not taking it herself.
Yes.
I think we've all been there at some point, offering wisdom that we haven't quite integrated into our own lives.
Right, and for Olivia, that manifested as feeling constantly drained by other people's emotions.
Right.
Whether it was a coworker venting about a project or a friend going through a tough time, she would absorb it all like an emotional sponge.
Okay, that analogy paints a vivid picture.
It does.
So how did Olivia transition from being an emotional sponge to actually managing her own emotions effectively?
Her journey began with simply acknowledging her feelings instead of pushing them away.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this way,
Huh?
she'd say, okay, this is what I'm feeling, now what?
It's about recognizing your emotions as valid,
Yeah.
not judging
Mm.
them or trying to suppress them.
Exactly.
But what happens after that initial acknowledgement?
Yeah.
How do you actually manage those emotions?
Olivia started asking herself two crucial questions.
Okay.
What am I feeling right now? And why am I feeling this way?
That's such a practical tip.
Yes,
It seems so straightforward, yet I can see how it would make a huge difference.
it does.
Do you have an example of how this worked for Olivia in a real-life situation?
Sure. The book describes a time when Olivia was feeling anxious before a work meeting.
Okay.
And by pausing and asking herself those key questions, she realized that the anxiety wasn't really about the meeting itself,
Okay.
but about her fear of being judged by her colleagues.
That's so relatable.
It is.
I think we've all felt that pressure to perform and the fear of not measuring up,
Yeah,
especially in a professional setting.
right.
It's almost like our inner critic takes over,
Hmm.
and we forget that we're capable and worthy.
And that's exactly the kind of internal dialogue that Olivia was trying to shift. And by simply acknowledging the fear, she was able to separate herself from the anxiety.
Okay.
She realized, I am not the anxiety, I am the person experiencing it.
Wow, that's a subtle but significant shift in perspective.
It is.
It's like recognizing that you're bigger than your emotions.
Yes.
But how does that translate into actually changing your behavior?
That realization gave her the power to choose her response rather than being controlled by the anxiety.
Oh,
So she learned to regulate her emotions using techniques like deep breathing and counting to 3 before reacting.
those techniques seem so simple.
They are.
I'm curious, do they actually work or is it all just hype?
They're not magic bullets, but they do create that crucial pause,
Okay.
that space between stimulus and reaction.
Okay.
It allows you to interrupt that automatic response pattern
Mm-hmm.
and choose a more mindful and intentional way of
How
behaving.
you see?
The book shares a great story about a colleague making a dismissive comment about Olivia's work during a meeting. In the past, she would have reacted defensively, but this time she took a deep breath, paused, and calmly addressed the situation.
Okay, now that's what I call leveling up.
It's
It's not about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them
right.
and harnessing that emotional energy
Yes.
to create positive change.
Exactly. It's about responding to situations rather than just reacting to them.
I like that.
So in Olivia's story, we see how emotional intelligence allows you to navigate those challenging interpersonal dynamics with more grace and effectiveness.
This is all so insightful. We've covered decoding emotional triggers
Mm-hmm.
and emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And now I'm curious about what's next on this journey of leveling up our lives.
Let's shift our focus to the art of reflection,
Okay.
which isn't just about dwelling on the past.
Yeah.
It's about gaining valuable insights that you can apply to the present and future.
Okay.
The book introduces Tom, a driven individual who realized that he was so focused on achieving his goals that he had neglected the importance of reflection. He was so busy climbing the ladder that he hadn't stopped to appreciate the view along the way.
I know that feeling all too well. Have you ever felt that, listener?
Right.
It's like we're constantly striving for the next thing without savoring the present moment.
It's a common experience, especially in today's fast-paced world.
Yeah.
And so Tom decided to incorporate a weekly reflection practice,
Okay.
asking himself simple questions like, what went well this week? What didn't? What can I learn from this?
Those questions seem so simple, yet I can see how they would spark some deep introspection.
They do.
Did he just think about those questions, or did he write them down?
He found that writing his reflections down in a journal really helped him process his thoughts
Okay.
and see patterns in his behavior.
Okay.
He noticed that when he prioritized work above everything else, he felt drained and disconnected.
Yeah.
But spending time with loved ones energized him and brought him joy.
Sometimes it takes that step back to see things more clearly, right?
Yeah.
It's like that saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Exactly. And by reflecting on his experiences, Tom started to see the impact of his choices and behaviors. It wasn't just about abstract ideas. It was about connecting the dots between his actions and his well-being.
This idea of reflection really resonates with me.
Yeah.
It's not just about thinking. It's about gaining insights that lead to action.
Absolutely.
So Tom starts journaling. He's becoming more aware of these patterns. But how does he actually start changing his behavior?
Yeah.
What kind of practical steps does he take?
There's a great anecdote in the book about Tom having a meeting with his boss, Sarah.
Okay.
He got defensive about her feedback, but through reflection, he realized that his defensiveness stemmed from this deep-seated fear of failure.
Oh, wow.
It's fascinating how reflection can help us uncover those underlying motivations that drive our behavior.
So the reflection wasn't just about rehashing the meeting.
Right.
It was about understanding the root of his reaction.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how many of our conflicts are really just surface-level expressions of deeper insecurities.
It's a powerful insight, and it allowed Tom to approach the situation differently.
Okay.
Instead of getting defensive, he was able to acknowledge his fear and have a more open and honest conversation with Sarah.
So reflection isn't just about dwelling on the past. It's about gaining self-awareness.
Yes.
And using those insights to improve your communication and relationships.
Absolutely.
What other benefits did Tom experience from this reflective practice?
By continuing this practice, he started recognizing unproductive habits like procrastination and realized they were often linked to deeper emotional challenges.
Oh.
This realization was a turning point for him because it shifted his focus from simply trying to fix his habits to addressing the underlying issues.
Like those annoying habits we all have are often just symptoms of something bigger going on beneath the surface.
Exactly.
It's about addressing the root cause, not just the symptoms.
Yeah. Exactly. Tom's reflective practice helped him connect the dots between his actions and his emotions. And this deeper understanding led him to take some courageous steps. He decided to seek therapy to work through those deeper emotional challenges.
Seeking therapy can be such a powerful act of self-care.
It is.
And a real testament to Tom's commitment to personal growth.
It is.
Did he make any other changes in his life based on his reflections?
He did. He started setting boundaries at work to prevent burnout. Making sure he was taking breaks and not overworking himself. And he prioritized spending quality time with loved ones, recognizing the importance of those connections for his well-being.
It's about aligning your actions with your values.
Exactly.
Sounds like reflection helped him create a more balanced and fulfilling life.
It did.
It's like he finally took the time to figure out what truly mattered to him and then took concrete steps to align his actions with his values. That's inspiring. And it makes me wonder if there are other ways to approach reflection besides journaling. Did the book mention any other strategies?
Yes. It introduced Samantha, who found a unique way to make her personal growth journey more tangible and trackable. She decided to create what she called a growth journal.
So is this different from Tom's journal?
It is.
Were they both writing about the same things?
Samantha's growth journal was specifically focused on documenting her progress and celebrating her wins. At first, she felt uncomfortable with the idea because she thought it had to be perfect.
Oh,
wow. A showcase of all her accomplishments.
Right.
And it just felt intimidating.
I can relate to that. Sometimes it feels like you have to have everything figured out before you can even start writing.
Right.
So we're afraid to document our journey until we've reached the destination.
That's a great point. And Samantha had a similar realization. She realized it wasn't about perfection, it was about honesty. Her growth journal became a safe space for her to document her feelings.
It's both the highs and the lows. She could celebrate her successes and acknowledge her struggles without judgment.
It's like a personal cheerleader reminding you of how far you've come. And encouraging you to keep going even when things get tough.
Exactly. She'd write about her self-care practices and the positive feelings they brought her. It was a way of acknowledging even those small steps forward that often go unnoticed.
That's so important. We often get caught up in striving for big goals that we forget to celebrate the little wins along the way.
Right.
Those small wins can be incredibly motivating.
They are.
Did her growth journal help her in any other ways?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
It played a key role in shifting her mindset and uncovering patterns in her behavior.
Okay.
Just like Tom, she realized that she often procrastinated due to a fear of failure.
Oh, wow.
It's fascinating how these seemingly different people are experiencing similar challenges, as if we're all wired with the same basic fears and insecurities.
That's such a powerful observation.
It is. It's like we're all in this together, navigating these universal human experiences.
Exactly. And by acknowledging those fears, Samantha could start addressing them in a healthy way.
Okay.
Her growth journal also became a tool for practicing self-compassion.
Okay.
On days when she felt discouraged, she'd read back through her entries,
Mm-hmm.
reminding herself of her hard work and progress.
Mm-hmm.
It's like giving yourself a pep talk from your wiser self.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we all have those moments of self-doubt,
Yes.
and it's okay to offer ourselves compassion and understanding.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a crucial part of the growth process.
Yeah.
Samantha's journal wasn't just about reflecting on the past.
Right.
It was about shaping her future.
Okay.
She started using it to document her dreams and aspirations,
Okay.
not just external achievements,
All right.
but also the kind of person she wanted to become.
It's like creating a roadmap for your life.
Mm.
But instead of focusing solely on destinations,
Yeah.
it's about the kind of journey you want to have,
Yeah.
the values you want to embody,
Yes.
the impact you want to make.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Samantha's growth journal became a source of empowerment.
Okay.
Whenever she felt stuck or uncertain, she'd remind herself of how far she'd come and the lessons she'd learned along the way.
Okay, so we've seen how reflection, whether through journaling or a growth journal, can be a powerful tool
Yes.
for self-awareness,
Yes.
behavior change,
Mm.
and even shaping your future.
Yes.
But I'm curious, how does finding your purpose fit into the whole level up concept? Is it really essential, or is it just one piece of the puzzle?
It's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
And the book highlights this beautifully through Amelia's story.
Yeah.
Despite having a seemingly successful life, Amelia felt like something was missing.
Yeah.
She had this nagging sense that there was more to life than just going through the motions.
That's a feeling that resonates with a lot of people.
Right.
I think we all have those moments where we question if we're living a life that's truly meaningful and aligned with our values.
It's a common human experience, that desire for something more than just existing. And for Amelia, it sparked a journey of introspection and self-discovery.
Okay.
She started asking herself those big questions. What makes me feel truly alive? What do I care about most in the world?
Wow, those are big questions.
They are.
I imagine that can be a daunting process.
It can be.
Did she actually find any answers?
She did, and a pivotal moment was reflecting on a time when she volunteered at a shelter.
Oh.
The experience of helping families in need filled her with a sense of purpose
Right,
that
yeah.
she hadn't felt before.
Mm.
It was like a light bulb went off, and she realized that her purpose was connected to helping others and making a positive impact in the world.
So it wasn't about finding one specific job or career path.
Right.
It was about aligning her actions with her values.
Exactly.
And finding ways to contribute to something bigger than herself.
Exactly. And she didn't stop there. She realized that finding your purpose is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah, okay.
And it requires exploration and experimentation.
It's like you can't just think your way to your purpose.
Right.
You have to actually get out there and try things.
Yeah.
See what resonates with you, what lights you up.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And Amelia's journey involved a lot of that exploration and experimentation.
Okay.
The book mentions a visualization exercise that helped her envision her ideal life 10 years from now.
Okay.
She saw herself working in a field aligned with her passion for helping others
Mm-hmm.
and living a life filled with purpose and meaning.
So it's like creating a vision board for your life, but instead of just focusing on material things, it's about the kind of impact you want to make
Yeah.
and the kind of person you want to become.
Exactly.
That's so powerful. Did she just visualize it, or did she take concrete steps to make that vision a reality?
She definitely took action.
All right.
Inspired by her vision, Amelia decided to volunteer at a youth mentoring program.
Okay.
She realized she didn't have to wait 10 years to start living her purpose. She could start right now, using her skills and passion to guide young people.
It's about taking those small steps.
Yes.
Those consistent actions that ultimately lead to big transformations.
They do.
Did Amelia's journey of purpose reveal any other insights?
Yes, she had another realization. Her purpose wasn't just about what she did for others,
Okay.
but also how she took care of herself.
Wait, so self-care is actually part of finding your purpose?
Yes.
I never thought about it that way.
It's an essential part.
Okay.
Amelia realized that in order to truly help others, she needed to be at her best,
Right.
both physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
She started prioritizing self-care practices like meditation, yoga, and pursuing hobbies that brought her joy.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
You have to take care of yourself in order to have the energy and capacity to show up for others.
Exactly. And as Amelia incorporated those self-care practices, she felt her connection to her purpose deepen. It's like she was no longer searching for a purpose. She was living it.
It's like that feeling of finally being on the right track, where everything just seems to click into place.
Precisely. And Amelia's story highlights the power of aligning your actions with your values and recognizing that self-care is an essential part of that alignment.
Okay, so we've explored decoding triggers, mastering emotional intelligence,
Yes.
harnessing the power of reflection, and discovering your purpose.
Yes.
What's the final piece of the puzzle when it comes to leveling up your life?
It's all about self-love.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about the superficial feel-good kind.
Right.
This is about genuine self-acceptance and prioritizing your well-being.
Okay.
The book introduces Lena, who was the epitome of a giving person, always there for her friends, family, and colleagues, often putting their needs above her own.
I think so many people can relate to that. They're the caregivers, the helpers, the ones who always go the extra mile for everyone else.
But as we see in Lena's story, constantly giving without replenishing yourself can lead to burnout and resentment. It's like running on an empty tank. You can only go so far before you hit a wall.
Okay, so how did Lena transition from self-sacrifice to actually prioritizing her own well-being? It's such a common struggle, especially for women.
It actually began with something incredibly simple.
Okay.
She started by smiling at herself in the mirror each morning
Okay.
and offering herself kind words of affirmation.
That seems almost too simple.
It does.
I'm curious, does something that small really make a difference?
It might seem insignificant, but those small acts of kindness towards yourself can have a ripple effect.
Okay.
Think about it. How often do you speak to yourself with the same compassion that you'd speak to a friend?
That's a great question. I'd never say anything harsh to a friend who's feeling down,
Right.
but I wouldn't hesitate to be critical of myself in the same situation. It's like we have this double standard when it comes to self-talk.
And that's exactly what Lena was trying to change.
Oh.
She realized that her inner voice was often her harshest critic, and she wanted to cultivate a more supportive and loving internal dialogue.
So it's not just about positive affirmations.
Right.
It's about shifting that entire inner narrative.
Exactly. And Lena didn't just stop at the mirror affirmations.
Yeah.
She started incorporating self-love into her daily life in other ways as well.
Okay.
The book describes a time when she was feeling overwhelmed with work and was about to push through exhaustion. But instead, she made a conscious choice to prioritize her well-being.
Okay.
She put aside her to-do list, poured herself a cup of tea, picked up a book, and just relaxed.
That can be the hardest thing to do, to actually give yourself permission to rest and recharge.
It can.
Especially when you have a million things on your plate.
Right. And that evening was a turning point for Lena.
Yeah.
She realized that taking care of herself wasn't selfish. It was essential for her overall happiness and her ability to show up for others in a healthy way.
It's like that oxygen mask analogy on airplanes.
Yeah.
Put on your own mask first before you can help anyone else. Did Lena make any other changes in her life to support this newfound commitment to self-love?
She did. She started setting boundaries, learning to say no when she needed to, and offering herself the same compassion that she so freely gave to others.
I think setting boundaries can be incredibly difficult for people who are used to people-pleasing.
It can.
Was that a challenge for Lena?
It was a gradual process, but she realized that saying no wasn't a rejection of others.
Okay.
It was a way of honoring her own needs and limits.
Okay.
And by setting those boundaries, she actually found that her relationships improved
Oh.
because they were based on mutual respect rather than her constant need to please.
So it's like self-love is actually a key ingredient in healthy relationships.
Yes,
When you value yourself, you attract people who value you as well.
absolutely.
What were some of the other ways that Lena started practicing self-love?
The book highlights another big step she took on her self-love journey.
Okay.
She decided to take a solo trip.
Wait, so the woman who was always there for everyone else finally decided to spend some time alone.
Exactly. She realized she'd always enjoyed spending time with others, but had never taken the time to truly enjoy her own company.
I think a lot of people are afraid of being alone with their own thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's almost like our society reinforces this idea that being alone is somehow a bad thing.
It's a common fear, but Lena approached it with a sense of adventure.
Okay.
It was like an exploration, just her and the open road, with no pressure or expectations.
Mm-hmm.
She allowed herself to just be and explore at her own pace.
It's like she was finally giving herself the gift of her own presence.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And through that experience, she discovered a deeper sense of peace and contentment.
Wow.
She realized that she didn't need external validation or constant company to feel happy.
Okay.
True joy came from within.
So it's like self-love is about recognizing your own worth and treating yourself with kindness and respect,
Yes.
regardless of external circumstances.
That's a great summary. And Lena didn't keep this newfound wisdom to herself.
Okay.
She started encouraging her friends to embrace self-love as well.
It's like she became a self-love ambassador,
Yes.
spreading the message that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential for your well-being
Yeah.
and for your ability to show up authentically in your relationships.
Exactly.
So Lena's story is a testament to the transformative power of self-love.
Absolutely. It's about becoming your own best friend. Someone who supports you, encourages you, and celebrates your wins.
I like that. And as we've seen throughout this deep dive, self-love is a key ingredient in leveling up your life.
It is. You know what's really powerful about this book is that it reframes personal transformation.
Okay.
It's not some magical overnight process,
Right.
It's these small, consistent actions and choices we make daily that lead to real change.
So it's not about finding that one perfect solution or quick fix.
Right.
It's about building those positive habits over time.
Yeah.
It's like exercising a muscle,
Absolutely.
The more you work it,
Yeah,
the stronger it gets.
exactly. And the more you practice these strategies, like the self-awareness, the emotional regulation, the reflection, the self-love, the more equipped you become to navigate life's challenges and create positive change.
Hearing you say that makes me think about all those times I've tried to make big changes all at once,
Right.
only to feel overwhelmed and give up.
Yeah.
Maybe the key is to focus on those small, consistent steps, rather than aiming for a complete overhaul.
That's a fantastic point. And the book Level Up Your Life emphasizes that, it's not about reaching some perfect end state.
Right.
It's about this continuous process of growth and evolution.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that everyone's journey is different. There's no right or wrong way to level up.
It's like we're all on our own unique paths.
Exactly.
And what works for one person might not work for another. It's about finding what resonates with you,
Yes.
what aligns with your values and goals,
Yeah.
and then creating a personalized approach to personal growth.
Absolutely. And being patient with yourself along the way,
Right.
Personal growth can be messy,
Yeah.
full of setbacks and challenges.
I think we all need that reminder sometimes.
Yes, we do.
It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned,
Right.
but maybe those challenges are actually opportunities for learning and growth.
Absolutely. It's through overcoming those challenges
Yeah.
that we learn and grow the most.
Right.
It's like those experiences refine us, make us stronger and more resilient.
Yeah.
So embrace the messiness, embrace the imperfections, and keep moving forward.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
You're not.
There's a whole community of people out there
Yeah.
who are also striving to level up and live their best lives.
We're all in this together, learning, growing, supporting each other along the way.
Okay. So we've talked about the individual stories of Nina Olivia, Tom, Samantha, Amelia, and Lena, and how they've applied these level up strategies. But I'm curious, are there any common threads or overarching themes that emerge from their experiences?
That's a great question. One thing that really stands out to me is the importance of self-awareness.
Okay.
It's like the foundation for all the other strategies.
You can't change or improve something if you're not even aware of it, right? It's
Exactly.
like trying to navigate a maze in the dark.
Exactly. Whether it's identifying your emotional triggers, understanding your patterns of behavior,
Yeah.
or recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, self-awareness is essential for personal growth.
Okay.
It's like shining a light on those blind spots that we all have.
And once you have that awareness, you can start making more conscious choices.
Yes.
You're no longer just reacting to situations.
Right.
You're responding with intention.
Exactly. It's like moving from autopilot to becoming the pilot of your own life.
Another theme that seems to run through all the stories is the power of mindset,
Yes.
the way you think about yourself. And the world around you can either support or sabotage your progress.
Absolutely. It's those limiting beliefs we all have, those negative thoughts like, I'm not good enough or I'll never be able to do that. That can really hold us back.
And those beliefs can become self-fulfilling prophecies if we let them.
Exactly. But the good news is that we can change our mindset.
Okay.
It takes effort and practice, but it's possible to shift from a negative mindset to a more positive and empowering one.
It's like reframing those negative thoughts, challenging them,
Yeah.
and replacing them with more supportive and empowering beliefs.
And when you do that, it's like removing those mental barriers that were holding you back.
Right.
You become more resilient, more confident, and more open to new possibilities.
Another important theme is self-compassion.
Yeah.
It's about being kind to yourself even when you make mistakes or face setbacks.
It's recognizing that we're all human, we all mess up, we all have moments of weakness, and that's okay. It's about offering ourselves the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend.
It's about silencing that inner critic and replacing it with a voice of support and encouragement.
Exactly. And self-compassion isn't just about feeling good.
Okay.
It's about building resilience.
Yeah.
When you're able to bounce back from setbacks, you're more likely to achieve your goals.
It's like self-compassion is the fuel that keeps us going.
Yes.
Even when the road gets bumpy.
I love that.
Yeah.
And finally, I think the book highlights the importance of taking action.
Okay.
It's not enough to just read about these strategies
Right.
or have these insights. You have to put them into practice.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. It's those consistent actions that create real change.
Yeah.
And those actions can look different for everyone.
It might be starting a journaling practice, practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, or taking that solo trip.
Yes.
It's about finding what works for you and then taking that first step.
The best time to start leveling up is now.
So we've talked about those key themes of self-awareness, mindset, self-compassion, and action.
Yes.
But I'm curious, is this whole level up concept just about achieving external success?
That's a great question. And it's important to clarify that, these strategies aren't just about getting a promotion, making more money, or having more things.
It's not about achieving some arbitrary definition of success that society imposes on us.
Exactly. It's about cultivating inner peace, happiness, and fulfillment.
Okay.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself from the inside out.
It's about aligning your actions with your values and living a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you.
And often when you do that, the external success will naturally follow.
It's like you become a magnet for positive experiences.
Yeah.
When you're aligned with your true self and living with purpose.
That's a beautiful way to put it. So as we wrap up this section, I think it's important to remember that this is just the beginning of the journey.
Right?
The learning never stops.
It's about embracing this ongoing process of growth and evolution.
Yes.
And being open to new insights and perspectives. In the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore some practical tips and actionable insights that you can start applying to your own life today. So get ready to turn those insights into action. It's really amazing how all of these stories and strategies, they all kind of point to one powerful truth.
What's that?
Which is that personal growth, it's a journey. It's not a destination.
So true. And like any good journey, it requires, a good map and the right tools.
Yeah.
So as we move into this final part of our deep dive, I'm excited to kind of unpack some practical tips, actionable insights from Level Up Your Life.
Okay, perfect. Let's dive into those actionable takeaways.
Okay.
What's the first step to get started with leveling up?
Well, the book really emphasizes the importance of setting clear intentions.
Okay.
Think of it as creating a roadmap for your life, guiding you towards what you want to achieve.
Okay.
Whether it's, in different areas like your career, your relationships, or even your personal development.
So how do you go about setting these intentions?
Right.
Is it just about making a wish list, or is there a more structured approach?
It's more than just wishing.
Okay.
Level Up Your Life encourages us to make those intentions specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Oh, okay.
The SMART goal-setting framework,
Right.
which helps you create these clear and attainable goals.
That makes sense. Without a clear roadmap, it's easy to get lost or sidetracked along the way.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that, listener? It's like trying to navigate a new city without a GPS.
Yeah,
You might eventually get to your destination, but it's much more efficient to have a plan.
exactly. Once you have those clear intentions, the next step is to break them down into smaller, actionable steps.
Okay.
Think of it as a to-do list for your life.
Okay.
But instead of, feeling overwhelmed by this huge list of tasks,
Yeah.
just focus on one or two small steps you can take each day.
This idea of breaking things down into smaller steps, that really resonates with me. Sometimes I get so caught up in the enormity of a goal that I don't even know where to begin. But by focusing on those small, consistent actions, it just makes it feel less daunting.
It does.
Absolutely.
It's the consistency that matters most.
Yeah.
It's like building a house brick by brick.
Right.
Each small action contributes to the overall structure.
Okay, that's a great analogy. Building on that, the book also talks about the importance of surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Your environment plays a crucial role in your growth.
Okay.
You know, if you're constantly surrounded by negativity or people who doubt your abilities, it's going to be much harder to level up.
It's like trying to grow a plant in the shade.
Yes.
They need sunlight to thrive.
Precisely. So it's about making a conscious effort to connect with the people who inspire you, support you, and believe in you.
And on the flip side, recognizing those relationships that might be draining your energy or holding you back.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to create space
Yeah,
for new, more supportive connections to kind of emerge.
absolutely. Another practical tip from the book is to celebrate your wins no matter how small they may seem.
Yes. It's so easy to get caught up in the pursuit of our goals that we forget to acknowledge our progress. We're always striving for the next milestone, and we don't pause to kind of savor the journey.
Right. And celebrating your wins helps you stay motivated and build momentum.
Right.
It's like giving yourself a pat on the back and saying, hey, I'm doing this. I'm making progress.
I like that. That internal validation can be so powerful.
It is.
It reminds us that we're capable of achieving our goals.
Yeah, they are.
Speaking of the journey, the book also talks about learning from our mistakes.
Yes.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. No one is perfect, and we all make mistakes along the way. But instead of beating yourself up over those missteps, view them as opportunities for growth and learning.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I do things differently next time?
It's about shifting our perspective from viewing mistakes as failures to seeing them as valuable lessons.
Exactly. It's like turning those setbacks into stepping stones and using them to propel yourself forward.
I love that.
Oh.
And finally, the book reminds us of the importance of prioritizing self-care.
Yes.
It's not selfish. It's essential for our well-being.
Absolutely. When you're feeling your best physically, emotionally, and mentally, you're better equipped to handle challenges, to make clear decisions, and achieve your goals.
So make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, exercising regularly, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation.
Self-care isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for a truly leveled up life.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Level Up Your Life, I want to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What's one small step you can take today to start leveling up your life?
Maybe it's writing down your intentions, practicing mindfulness for 5 minutes, reaching out to a supportive friend, or simply smiling at yourself in the mirror and acknowledging how far you've come.
Whatever it is, take that step. And remember, you have the power to create the life you want. So until next time, happy leveling up.